Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
I just like to stretch my face. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SIFFtv. My name is Megan Leonard. I'm the Festival Programming Manager here at SIFF, and I'm so pleased to be joined by three incredible filmmakers that are a part of our Northwest Connections program at the festival. SIFF runs May 7 through 17, and you're going to want to make sure that you check out all three of their films. So we have here with us Chezik, Tsunoda, Gerber, and Zach Weintraub. I'd love for you three to just start by telling us about each of your films. Chezik, why don't you start?
I knew it was going to go that way, right? So my film is called Under a Million Stars, and I basically spent the last few years following two of our unhoused neighbors. One woman who has just recently gotten into housing to understand some of the issues that happen even once you have a key to a home, and a chronically homeless man who for 40 years has been living on and off the streets, and what that journey looks like to get him housed, and really looking at the systems that they're moving through and how challenging it is once you're out there to get back inside. So we look at a lot of people that are doing really beautiful things and how so many things are broken, including our sweeps. And it's hopefully will break some misconceptions that are out there.
JJ, how about you?
So my film is The Life We Leave, and it follows the proliferation of human composting as a choice for death care in America through the lens of one company, Return Home, and specifically its founder, Micah Truman, who is a serial entrepreneur and kind of came into the funeral industry. He saw an opportunity to scale a business and profit. And along the way, he learned from his two first funeral directors that double bottom line is the only way that he's truly going to profit in that industry. It's very, it goes deep into the funeral industry and what is working, what isn't working in there, and these new options and how people can find new rituals around death.
Amazing. Okay, we have our documentary folks over here. Now we're going to switch modes.
Yes.
Zach, talk to us about your film.
Yeah, my movie's made up. It's called Assets and Liabilities. And it's about a tired suburban daddy, father, excuse me. So who...
No, we're sticking with daddy.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's what his child calls him. So it's about a daddy who his family goes out of town for the evening, and he jumps on the opportunity to let loose a little bit and try to reconnect with his younger self. It was made. It's sort of an experiment in like DIY production, in that I tried to make it as alone as possible, just to see, how little I could use and make a movie. So I wrote and directed it, but I'm also the lead actor and shot most of it myself, pressing record and running around in front of the camera literally, and shot it very slowly in spare time over the course of about a year.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what brings this group here today is you guys are all making films here in the Pacific Northwest. Why make films here? What do you love about making films in the Pacific Northwest? What keeps you here? Do you see that there are advantages to making films here in the Pacific Northwest? Let's talk about it. Whoever wants to jump in.
Well, I'll jump in. So being close to home is great, right? And I think that exploring your home and what makes your area special and unique, and the stories that are there are all going to be like that much more meaningful to you on a personal level as you explore them. But also here in the Pacific Northwest, there, especially on the documentary side, not knocking the narrative side at all, but like I'm involved with Seattle Documentary Association, and like one of our mantras is that like we just have like this hidden wealth of talent here in the Pacific Northwest for documentary filmmakers. You know, people are getting nominated for Peabody's annually. there's a production company up here that is frequently nominated for Oscars. And there's, Emmy winners on the national scale that are here, and they're working here, and their edit is here, their post-production facilities are here, and they're filming around here. So there's always opportunities to like learn from literally the best right here without having to go to LA, without having to go to New York and do and learn and grow as a filmmaker. So that opportunity alone is like, why leave? You got to chase a story. Sometimes you got to leave, but
Fair. No, I feel the same way. I think after I finished my first feature, I was like, I have to be in LA, like, and kind of was racing there. And then I'm like, wait a minute, like my story is here. What's happening in my backyard? Like, what are people that I'm talking about, and what's bothering me? I tend to make films that I want, I don't know, heavier topics just in general. And want people to see things in a different way. And so when I hear people talking about things, I'm like, wait a minute, like, let's go out and see what's really going on. Let's explore. And I agree that there's amazing talent here. There's a lot of support. You can make your film top to bottom here. You don't have to go color correct here or there. And yeah, and I used to live in New York and have done production there and also in LA. And there's just a vibe here. It's hard to put words to it. But it's chill in such a good way. And so I don't feel quite as much pressure for some reason. Yeah. Maybe it's because I'm home.
Yeah. And then you look at it and like if when you're working in documentary film, if there's a story that's happening here and you can find that relatable human element to it, and then it relates to anybody anywhere, right? And that's the beauty of making film and art.
Yeah, totally. And you mentioned like your home, right? It's like, I feel like that's 100% of my answer is just being rooted here. And like, like part of my movie was shot at the skate park where I grew up. And it's like, I have archival footage of that skate park 20 years ago. And it was like, let me cut this into the movie and like juxtapose the same space, like 20 years apart. I couldn't do that if like I wasn't working like in my zone,
That's awesome.
Without getting into spoiler territory, what would you say you're hoping SIFF audiences take away from your films?
Some chuckles. Yeah, I would love to hear people making noise in the theater, and not just chuckles, groans of discomfort, sighs. And yeah, and just maybe identifying a little bit in some way with what they see on screen, seeing themselves reflected in some part of it would be awesome.
I'm going to say reflection. Like, I think for my film, I want people to consider the way they're thinking about our unhoused neighbors here, and perhaps think about ways that they could lean in. I don't think this film necessarily answers questions, but it should make you think.
Yeah, and I'm going to start by saying I hope people come with an open mind to the film, and because it does, it makes you think about things that most of us as Americans don't really want to think about. We don't like to think about death. But I think that most people leave the film with a new lease on thinking about that, and like an opportunity to think about that. And that little earworm, I hope you leave with an earworm in there that like kind of lives rent-free for a minute, and you think about your impact on this earth even after you're gone.
Yeah. Chezik, you mentioned reflection as one of your goals for the audience. I'm wondering what your biggest takeaways were from working with the unhoused community, and what you think the biggest misconception people have is about the homeless community.
I think, gosh, it's so complex. Even me answering the question feels so complex because I don't know. I think sometimes people think, oh yeah, just put someone in housing and it's going to be okay. And I recognize that's just the beginning, really. And so I think a misconception sometimes is that this is an individual problem. And for me, spending time with many folks, I recognize how close a lot of us are to being unhoused ourselves. And it's like, literally a death in the family or a breakup. It's little things like that. And once you're out there, it is so hard to get back in. So, yeah, it's very tricky.
Yeah. JJ, this marks your directorial debut. Congratulations. Are there any things that you learned on this project that you'll be taking into your next?
I mean, so every film is so different. And like the first time directing a film, and there's kind of a funny story that goes along with that. So when I started, this happened, like it was happening. And I was like, I don't want to miss it. So I'm going to go start filming it and I'll find the director for it. And so I started filming and I was collecting the footage. I was starting to put teasers together and decks together. And I was going out to directors, and directors kept coming back and be like, okay, this sounds great. Like when you've got a budget, I'm totally into this. And so I'd be like, yeah, I kind of need a director to get a budget. And they'd be like, okay, yeah, when you get a budget, come on back. So I kept going to different directors and seeing if I could get anybody to be like interested enough to like take a little bit of a risk. Finally, I got to this one director and he was like, sounds like you're directing it. And I was like, no. I'm seeing if you would want to do it. He's like, no, you know the people, you've built relationships, you know the story, you've been following it for like, I don't know, a year and a half at that point. He's like, you've done the work, you're directing it, you need a producer. And I was like, oh, shit. So I accepted the challenge and just went and found a wonderful team of producers to back me up on this. And so like having produced 4 feature films prior to this, I kind of had an idea what I was getting into, and I think I was able to like step up to the challenge a little bit better. I think that every film is so different, especially every film that I've worked on is so different that it never feels like, oh, I've done this before. So I think that it was part of that in my brain already going into it, that this is going to be different than anything I've ever done. So buckle up and here we go. So individual takeaways, I don't know, just that everything's always different and you never know what you're going to get, and just follow the yeses.
I like that.
I like that too. Do you have the directing bug now? Like, are you hoping to stay in that chair?
Everyone asks me that, and I don't know how to, like, if somebody were like, I have got an idea for you, if it doesn't resonate with me, then I probably would be like, I don't necessarily want to direct that, but maybe I'd help you produce it, you know?
Sure.
But I think it still goes, I think I would need to be like as excited or invested as I was with this story. Like there was a personal attachment to it for me that made me want to continue it. And I think I would need that to direct another film. Yeah. It's hard. It was really hard.
It absolutely is. Zach, moving over to you, you mentioned that this movie was like an experimentation in like how low can you go? Like how minimal can you be in making something? This is also like a very personal film. Like you're very much in it. Like it is you all throughout. Like, was this film like a cathartic experience for you?
Yeah, totally. I think so. It's like, it's funny because I am like tempted to like distance myself from the character, right? Because it's like, I don't know, I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, I think the smallness of the movie like kind of makes it feel so much more like, oh, you just filmed yourself. And it's like, well, no, I made a lot of things up, just so you know. And it's interesting. So I have that impulse to put distance there, but totally. Like, it's like, I think this is something that I've always done. It's just like the way this character was, or where this character comes from is just like, okay, well, I think I kind of hone in on some aspect of myself that I feel is worth a roast maybe, or, like picking apart or making fun of, right? And then thinking, okay, well, if my circumstances, this isn't exactly me or my life, but if my circumstances were like this,
It's like an alternate reality.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. That like is pretty easy to imagine, but also not quite reality. And by doing that, I think it's like, it does kind of let me have that like kind of cathartic, like fun with it, right? Where it's like, okay, well, let's put this guy on blast because it's not quite me.
Yeah.
And just, like I said, roast him.
It's so fun. All three of
Nice.
you, just such great work. I'm so happy to hear you say that you have this commitment to the Pacific Northwest. I'm curious if you have new projects lined up that you're at least ideating on, or like what's next for you three?
So I shot over the course of 3 years, and we have so much footage. So I am in post on a short film about tiny home villages, because I quite love the idea and concept of them, and think that they could be. I don't think that they could be. They are a really amazing stepping stone to housing, and so yeah, I'm hoping that eventually it can play into the feature, but because no one had a tiny home village experience in the film, we did not tap into it. But yeah, so working on a short.
I'm a freelancer and I'm available right now. If anybody's hiring, I could really use a job. So
You hear that, everybody? Say that to every camera.
Yeah, right into the lens.
I'm available.
Awesome. Yeah, let's see. Well, I mean, having finished a movie, it's fine. I mean, I guess I might think that I'd want to like chill, but I feel like being at this phase and like getting it in front of people is so inspiring. So like, I feel pretty fired up right now. And yeah, my film is like, I would describe it as kind of like a toe dipping in like horror, really.
Yeah.
It's like not quite all the way. And I love horror movies, and it's like I've always wanted to make one, but they're so like sacred that I think I was just afraid, like because it takes a lot and you can blow it. But yeah, I feel like I'm kind of fired up right now to just lean in there, and I'm gonna make a scary movie.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Are you going to go
If you
the
need
same
a
way?
producer.
Yeah, if you need a producer, I'm available.
Nice, yeah.
Are you going to go the same direction where you like kind of try to do it all yourself type thing, or what do you?
If I have to, you know.
Yeah.
Typically I don't even allow myself to write something down on paper if I don't see the path to it. Yeah. But that has just produced like kind of this string of like no budget movies, right? And I kind of want to put something on paper that might cost a little more and see if that's possible. But if it's not going to stop me. It's just, yeah. So ideally, no. Maybe there's a step in a different direction with this, but
Yeah.
I could do it. I could do the same thing again.
It's a super cool approach to filmmaking.
Mhm.
I respect that a lot.
Thanks.
So
I love it too. For Chezik and JJ, you both were awarded the Satterberg Foundation's Courageous Documentary Filmmaking Grant. This grant was launched in May of 2024. The SIFF grant for Courageous Documentary Filmmaking provides $400,000 in funding available for Washington State documentary filmmakers, thanks to the generous funding from the Satterberg Foundation. These grants are awarded to storytellers with projects rooted in moral courage who take action despite the negative consequences of doing so. What does this grant mean to you as filmmakers?
You go.
you want me to go first on this
Sure.
one? Okay. Well, first off, any kind of grant means you get to keep working on your film. And that was like, we would not have been able to finish this film like hands down without that grant. That grant came at like the perfect moment where we had an edit. We knew where we wanted to go with everything. And then all of a sudden there was like money in the bank. And we're like, oh my God, we can do this. Like we can do this like right now. We don't have to like wait a year and a half to go do that. So that was, for us, the timing and the structure of everything, it was just perfect. But the grant being focused on local filmmakers, because there's a handful of grants that everybody goes for. Like literally everybody across the country, there's like thousands of applicants for the exact same grants. And so to have one that has a meaningful dollar amount that is aimed at local productions, like and so my goal when I got it was like not to squander that and to be like, they want us to use local production? Absolutely. Like we will put every last dollar of this back into the local filmmaking community. And that's what we did. And so that was really special to be able to like, A, make my film, B, uplift the community through this grant and support the community in that way. So I think that the grant was just magical, personally.
I definitely agree. I think there was also just psychologically for me getting the grant, like in a time when you're kind of in post, you know, there's this like cycle of making a film where you're like, oh my gosh, yes, this is amazing. And then you're like, oh my gosh, are we doing everything right? Like, is this exactly how I want, you know? And for us, it came when, you know, we're finishing things up and it just, I'm like, is this okay? Like, did we do all of the things the way that we, you know, should have done them? And it's the reason, at least I believe, I also work with the city, and the film is takes a critical look at what the city is doing. And so there is just a little, I mean, fear in putting the film out. And so getting it was just like I felt like I was doing the right thing in such a good way. And then it really is helping like impact and just all of the little costs that you don't even think about, like applying for film festivals. Like there's so many hidden costs at the end. But yeah, I just think when you get that little boost at the end, when you're just tired, like, can we make it? It was amazing. So I'm so very grateful.
It's like a boost of confidence. Also, you're like, okay, after you hear no so many times, hearing a yes is like, oh my God.
I cried. I remember I cried. I was like, oh my gosh, like it was a moment just of something like goes right when everything feels like it's heavy on your, you know, shoulders to finish. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, that's so special to hear. I'd like to shift gears and talk a little bit about the SIFF effect. We are highlighting the SIFF effect this year, which is, you know, the experience you get when you're watching a movie in the theaters. And you're with a communal group of people and you get to have a shared experience. What does the SIFF effect mean to you all?
I would just say the SIFF effect, we talked about it earlier about being at home and being with community. And there is just something, again, we're very laid back here. There's a vibe, just like Seattle in general, as someone who's not from here. And I just think being in that room, and it's big. It feels big, you know, it's something exciting here, especially for us film folks. Like, you don't have to go to Sundance. Like, no, we're right here, right now. And so, yeah, there's something special just about being with your community and being able to have that shared experience.
Go ahead. You got it.
Yeah. I'm like, there's another, I totally agree. I mean, I feel like it's like, being in the theater full of people, like experiencing a movie is like the best thing ever. Right. But I feel like in this context, especially, there's this extra layer too, where like, I don't know, there was the local filmmaker event the other night, and it's just like talking to everybody. It's just like, whoa, it feels so good to talk to people who just like love movies. And like, the other thing that's great to do with those people is see movies, you know, because you know that like everyone else in the room has that same like reverence, or is just so excited to be having the same experience in the same way that you are. It's just like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Like when you're finishing a film, you watch it by yourself in a room, and you like, you know, all the places to laugh and you know all the places to cry and all of that stuff. And you've seen it so many times that you probably don't even do that. Seeing it for the first time in a film, in a theater, like full of people, and they laugh at all the right places and they cry at all the right places, and you're just like, oh my God, it's working. Like that's like one of the best feelings. And so like even just being in the audience for somebody else's film, or like the filmmaker's not even there, it's like a Marvel film or whatever, like having those like you hear everybody else laugh around you, it's like infectious, you know? And I think that's what the SIFF effect is there, right? Like that's
100%.
That's what we're going for. And that's like, there is something addictive about that as a filmmaker, where you're like, oh, they did it. You know? They laughed. Yes.
Got him.
Got it.
It's just like I imagined. Or it's like completely different than I imagined.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes they laugh in places where you're like, I didn't even know that was funny.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah. Lean in.
Yeah.
Yes.
You all touched on this a little bit already. So if you feel like you've covered it, you know, no need to hit it again. But why go to the theater? Why go watch movies in theater?
I mean, I think this, like, for me, it kind of doubles as like, why go to movies, but also like, why make movies a little bit. Like, for me, there's something about a belonging. You know, I feel like, at least when I'm making films, I want people to feel not alone. And so when you're in that theater with other people, there is just this sense of, again, community and belonging. And yeah, I don't know, just that moment where you're just like, we're all here seeing this. I mean, like, did you see what I just saw? Like this, you know, that joint feeling is beautiful. And it's hard to get, you know, unless you have other communities, you know, here and there. I think there's a lot of people that are doing life solo, you know, and being together is beautiful in that way.
Yeah, I mean, like, why go to an art museum too? You know, like, I no, you should absolutely go to art museums. Yeah, it's just that experience of the reflection of who we are as a people, you know, and being able to like resonate in that with stories. And stories are important, and they reflect who we are. They reflect where we want to go, where we want to be, and there's a lot we can learn about ourselves and other people just through that. And it's a great moment, and it is brought together through cinema. So I encourage everyone to go to movies and art museums. I'm not against art museums.
Sure.
Be careful.
I went to one last week, I promise.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, we did really talk about it. But it's like, yeah, the movie theater is just the best, you know? You know what it smells like, the feel of the upholstery, you know, like just that's the place to be. If that's your thing. But it should be.
Okay, now for what may be the most challenging question I've asked all day. What film do you wish you could experience again for the first time at SIFF? Who's got their answer?
Hell no, I thought about it, so I can I can buy you some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably, first I was like, what's like a movie that I had to see like at home by myself but I don't know. I had a hard time nailing that down, but I was just like, oh, well, probably one of the most amazing movie-going experiences I can think of was Holy Motors, which was like, what, over 10 years. 10 years? More than 10 years. It was more than 10 years now. But Jesus, yeah, I saw that in a super packed, humongous theater, and it was like, I mean, I won't forget that. So I think it would be good here. I don't know, did it play here?
Yeah, I saw it at the SIFF Film Center when we played it. We played it theatrically.
Oh, right.
And oh my gosh, what a bananas movie.
Actually, I saw it theatrically here in Seattle too, but also at a film festival. Had to come back for more.
Yeah, I think I saw it twice in theaters. Yeah. So I needed to just be like, what did I watch?
I was going to go old school and say Jurassic Park and see like if that holds up still, you know? But like I would want to see it like a 35 millimeter print, you know, like do it right.
In 1994 too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd also want to be like 11 years old again for it.
Right.
If I could be.
That was one that we actually, like when we first were opening the SIFF downtown, we did a staff screening of Jurassic Park.
Nice.
And it was like, this movie still rules.
I'm going to come with my social justice angle and documentary situation, and it's actually like a recent film. But I'd like I watched it 4 times on Netflix, but to see it in the theater with people and have like a post Q&A would be so special. But it's called A Perfect Neighbor. And I just think that film here in Seattle, where I don't know how many folks have that understanding of neighborhoods and like that are here and things that are happening all over, including Seattle. I just think it would be really powerful. So shout out to A Perfect Neighbor.
I love it. Well, Chezik, JJ, Zach, thank you so much for being here. I just want to remind everyone to check out Under a Million Stars, The Life We Leave, and Assets and Liabilities during the Seattle International Film Festival, running May 7 through 17. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.